The project that the team came in to do for us, we have lots of high tech on the product side, but on the system side we're a lot of work to do. The aerospace industry as a whole is, I would say, crippled by quality concerns. So we have to document. We have to be able to document sort of material coming out of the ground to which aircraft it goes into. So that's a huge administrative overhead to manage effectively, and that we had a baseline business practice or business system, and it was kind of a band-aid on top of duct tape on top of band-aid, and it kind of got to a situation where it has evolved into a pretty cumbersome system. So the first step to trying to clean up the mess is to work out what you have, and that's where I brought in the team to do a process map or a value stream map of where we are today, and that's allowing us now to take the next steps to move forward. So with that, I'll introduce you to Pratibha, Alex, and Chris, and the other question of how I got onto BCIT I'll address afterwards.
My name is Chris Craxton. This is Pratibha Thapa, and that's Alex Osipov. We're the team that worked on the ASCO project that Robert was just letting you know about. Robert was the host of the project, as he mentioned, and we were actually fortunate enough to have Richard, who was our program head, as our program advisor, so don't credit us too much. Okay, so the project scope. So what we did is we were looking at the subcontractor process. So some part way through the process, ASCO has to send out some of their parts to be processed, either primed, painted, heat treated, whatever it may be. So we were taking that point where a quality control inspector would actually clear that part and say, hey, it's ready to go to the subcontractor as the start of our scope. And then the end of the scope would have been once that part came back from the subcontractor and then went through quality control and was cleared to go back into product flow. So we were basically looking at all the documentation and the processes that occur when they need to send these parts out to be processed. And what we're going to show you today is how we showed ASCO how they could take $53,000 out of that process in a year. What we're going to do is we're going to show you the process map that we did for ASCO. So what we did is we created what I'm sure most of you know as a swim lane. So each of these lanes represents a role or a person that is involved in the process. Oh! Perfect.
We planned that. It was planned.
We asked them to book this room.
Yeah.
It's about 28 feet long.
So, in order for us to evaluate the importance of managing this process, the team decided to calculate extra minute per PO. One of the most significant findings in this project was how 1 minute impacted ASCO. In order to get to the root cause of the problem, a cause and effect analysis was performed. And from that cause and effect analysis, we figured that the causes of the problem were, there were two causes for the problem: too many steps in the process and delays between each step.
After we did all the methods, used all the methods and tools that were presented in BCIT Operations Management Program, we gathered all the data and we analyzed it, got some findings, and basically got to the exciting part, how should we solve it. So what we did is our IT recommendations are split into two parts. First part is creating the process and logic, how actually the documentation will be created. And the second part is actually a set of rules and functions that will govern it in order to make sure that the data is correct.
So, the conclusion. The proposal is, like I said, the implementation time 2 months, payback periods only 3 months, lead time reduction 1 day, and a reduction in overall labor in the process of 69%. So what we're doing is we're making it simpler, faster, and better. I think that's what everybody is looking for, right? This is the best part of the presentation. This is when we gave ASCO the ultimatum. We said, basically, You can stay with this 28-foot process map that we put on the wall here, or they can take a look at those 1.6 people and they can really save themselves about 70% of that.
They ask the questions that I can't ask. If I ask people, they get defensive, they don't want to give an honest answer because they know it's not the way they should be doing it. They're going around procedures, through procedures, whatever you want, avoid them altogether. And I think by having a third party come in, people are naturally more open, particularly in the way in which this team operated. They got, I mean, in the report out, there's pages and pages of interviews, so they got the answers I'll never get. So that was another kind of major advantage. The fresh perspective of the team, the access that they provide for information from people within our organisation is great. Yeah, I mean, thank you. It's been very positive. More generally, the question that I was asked beforehand is how did I come to get BCIT projects in? I think it started at an evening like this. I met Richard and was introduced to the concept, and I think this is the 5th group that we've had in, and it's typically been pretty successful. We've a mixed track record of implementing recommendations, but you certainly always get an enthusiastic, hard-working team, and you know, you get out of it what you put into it too. I mean, if you give the team the opportunity, they'll 9 times out of 10 deliver, I think. So I think it's a very positive program, and I would recommend any business to get the team in. The cost is minimal. I think there's a contribution to BCIT fund, and you know, maybe a gift to the students or something, but it's very little out of your pocket for what you get in return.
I'm often asked to come up and talk about our students and our programs, and 9 times out of 10 then what happens is our passionate faculty like Richard and others and our amazing students, our grads, end up stealing all the thunder, and there's really not much I can say. 2009, BCIT rolled out its strategic plan, 5-year strategic plan, and in that, our vision is actually an interesting one. It's integral to the economic, social, and environmental prosperity of the province of British Columbia. And we take that really seriously. Our mission is really straightforward. It's to prepare our students to be career ready when they graduate. Our purpose is really straightforward. It is to serve our students and to serve the employers of our students. And this is where the connection then comes in with industry. Clearly, we can't do any of that if we don't have an amazing connection with industry. And so associations like APICS, thank you very much. You help us do that. Rob, for what you do, you said 5th project, well done. You get the gold star for that. We really appreciate it. And we like to say that it doesn't matter where you're going to find a BCIT grad that's working in one way or another. All of you who have supported our programs, supported our students, well done to the team, well done to the grads in the back and here. It's great to have you here, and thanks very much. Have a great night.